Good morning. How's it going out there, folks? Welcome back here to a Saturday, August 23rd, 2025. Hope everyone's having a wonderful weekend out there. 11:12 a.m. That's California time here. Latest activity shows a 1.6 across the oil fields there. Looks like western Texas in the red flag. Let's see. We got some larger activity this morning here around the El Salvador area. Look at this 6.0 coming in. About 2 o'clock local time. That's going to be my time here. West Coast, 6 miles deep into the subduction zone of the Middle America Trench. It's been quite active out here recently. Of course, that is a major subduction zone that extends pretty much down south here, all the way up north off the coast of Mexico, capable of producing large megaquakes, and it is pretty active out here in the last 30 days with a number of swarms around Guatemala up around the subduction zone level itself. The 6.0 though today is the largest quake in this cluster of earthquake activity. So we do have to watch that. Again, it's not fear-mongering. It's just a possibility here that larger quake activity could be in the future. It's definitely a zone of high slip accumulation here. Notice these arrows pointing within that region of the Middle America Trench. 88 mm per year on average is the slip rate. So that's actually a little bit higher than portions of the Kuril-Kamchatka Trench, and actually higher than the Peru-Chile Trench in certain regions there. So it doesn't take, hundreds and hundreds of years to build up strain for a big earthquake out here. Do have to watch that because it's been quite elevated out here in the last 30 days along that region. This earthquake, for now, minimal damage. It was well offshore. Only a few folks reported feeling it in the area. It does look like there was some strong shaking or maybe some moderate shaking reported inland, but nothing big yet. But it does have the potential. Just got to remember that. Up into the states here, activity in the North Carolina region. We have a swarm going on. I would definitely call this a swarm. The reason why is because there's really been no main quake here, but we got a sequence of events out here. From late last night, 2.9 3-pointer. The last one, a 1.8 this morning. Nothing else showing up there for now. This is very shallow earthquake activity. And it sits within a zone here, or just outside the zone, of major seismically active activity. Last seen a big earthquake down here in, when was it? 1868 or so? 7-pointer down there across the Charleston area, South Carolina. Something like that today would be quite damaging. But this map here just goes to show you that we can get some big earthquakes out here historically. The thing, aside from having big earthquake activity out here in common amongst many regions of the eastern portion of the country, another relationship that all these have is the amount of time that has passed since big earthquakes out here. Hundreds of years for some of them, even a few hundred years for areas up north in the northeast here. Down in the Carolina area, like I said, I think it was about 1868 or so. So quite a bit of time has passed down there as well. New Madrid seismic zone, 1811, 1812, so hundreds of years there. This little region down there around the Sumter National Forest is capable of producing some moderate earthquakes as well. So it's just a little sign here that things are getting active across the eastern portion of the country. And when things are on the move out here, you do have to watch out for some further larger potential in some of these zones. So 7 earthquakes down there across the Greenwood, South Carolina area. Very shallow earthquake activity. Oil fields pretty active still. A lot from yesterday though. Got 27 earthquakes out here in the region, mostly out in western Texas there across the Permian Basin. Yellowstone National Park, nothing showing up there for now, but I do want to double check the Yellowstone overview. Well, maybe not the overview anymore, but the seismograph stations here. The overview is just not to my liking in terms of the amplitude readings out here. This amplitude reading on this chart, quite accurate. You can see all the smaller earthquake activity out there. There's some from yesterday. Looks like overnight there was a couple more. Even in the last hour or so, there's some earthquake activity. They'll probably get to this Monday morning. There is the signal from the 6-pointer there off the coast of the El Salvador area. That's what a large earthquake looks like at a distance. And yes, it'll show up on the seismograph station there thousands of miles away. But as far as any major local uptick there across the Yellowstone National Park, I don't see it. Just a handful of smaller microquakes there in the region right around the northwestern corner of Yellowstone National Park. Super volcano, I'll throw that in there. Washington, not a whole lot going on there, but I do want to double check the Mount Rainier seismograph stations there, because if we just go by what they're showing us here on the map for the public view, well, it could be left in the dark as far as the accuracy of the activity that's occurring out here. Nothing showing up on the map there, but on the seismograph station, we got there's at least one earthquake here. There's the I think that signal right there would match the 6-pointer that stirred up there in the El Salvador area this morning, about 2 o'clock in the morning. I don't see any decent earthquake activity out there. A lot of these could be some ice quakes. I'm sure a lot of these are small microquakes that they're not able to locate, though. But I don't see anything of any major uptick going on out there across Mount Rainier for now. We can also check out the Mount St. Helens seismograph station here, see if there's anything going on there. Up at the summit area, they had a little bit of swarm here, a little bit of activity in the last 30 days or so. I do want to check the summit area. There's a localized event. That's definitely local and an earthquake. Looks like there's a handful of them out here. Nothing showing up on the map. Of course, this stirred up. I don't believe that's a signal from the earthquake this morning. That's too far into the hour of the 2 o'clock range. This is closer to 3 o'clock or so. But a handful of smaller quakes out there across Mount St. Helens as well. Nothing big. The tremor map here from last night shows us 145 epicenters of tremor, mainly across the Vancouver Island ranges here, and some underneath the Seattle area. This is not volcanic tremor, but tremor that's being reported and recorded on a low frequency type of vibrational instrument adjustment, or instrument that picks it up there between the two plates. You got the North American plate and the subducting Juan de Fuca plate. Been quite active up here across the area of the Cascadia subduction zone recently. Nothing big going on there for now. It's holding on. Northern California, one more earthquake up here outside of Redding. That's close to the Battle Creek Fault, just off of it, looks like. 7 o'clock this morning for a 2-pointer. Nothing big going on. Bay Area, one earthquake on the Hayward Fault. That is from this morning, a little 1.3, about 4:30 in the morning. Far as Southern California goes, nothing above 2.5. A couple smaller quakes there overnight around the San Jacinto Fault Zone and up here around the Bakersfield area. But really, it's been pretty quiet out here across Southern California in the last couple days. Ever since the that 7.5 struck down here off the coast of South America into the Drake's Passage region. Put that on silent here. Keep forgetting to do that. One more. Is this an aftershock from this morning? Yes, it is. 4.8, about 7:30 in the morning there. We are getting some earthquake activity around the South Sandwich Trench. That's a subduction zone over here, 5.2 this morning, so things are getting quite active out here. Don't think there's enough energy built up for an 8-pointer out here. They last had an 8-pointer back in 2021, but occasionally we do get some earthquakes adjusting down here. Been relatively quiet, though, for the most part. We'll see if that remains standing for the quietness. 5.2 this morning at about 6 o'clock a.m. Taking a look here at the world view up around the Kamchatka area. Still have some earthquake activity, mainly from yesterday. A little bit quieter up there today. Notice a lot of red rings here on the globe indicating older activity. Some newer movement down here across the Japan region, including, skipping over it for now, the Nankai Trough down here to the southwest where that swarm's going on. Well, we had a swarm out there in the last couple months. Kind of tapered off, but we got a 3-pointer there now. Watch the Nankai Trough area. It is, I think it's fairly well primed for some big earthquake activity. Newer movement overnight and this morning also across the Sumatra area. Got a 5.8 over here as well, just off the coast of Sumatra. That should show up here on the USGS model. about 5 o'clock this morning or so. Seems like everything started shuffling around at 5 or 6 o'clock time period. It's about the time we've seen that 6-pointer over here as well. Well, that was 2 o'clock in the morning. But we have seen a number of quakes out here around that 5 or 6 o'clock time period in the morning. Some aftershock activity there. That's another major subduction zone. That's I don't think it's primed here for any mega quake activity. 2000. Oh, when was that Indian Ocean tsunami? That was it 2008, 2009, 2000, somewhere around there. I don't recall the exact year, but I don't think it's primed for mega quake activity out there. We still see some moderate, maybe some large earthquake activity, but 9-pointer, I don't think that's set up right now for that. Maybe down here across areas of the Java Trench southward, but up around the Sumatra area, they had a big earthquake out there recently. Historically speaking, in geology terms there. 4.2 across the area of the Indonesia area right now. 4.2, 11:13 a.m. So that just coming in here in about 10 minutes ago. New Zealand, quiet spot down here today. Some further adjustment up north around the Tonga area. Looks like a 5-pointer. Also quiet here across Papua New Guinea area eastward. I'll watch that today. Nothing major going on up in Alaska. There's a handful of earthquakes here in the last hour. A couple up above the 2.5 range. Looks like the largest here going to be a 3.6 outside of the Port Ellsworth area, Alaska. 89 miles deep underneath this area of Alaska. Big Island of Hawaii, nothing showing up there, but the eruption has come to a halt already. I told you guys it'd be done by morning. We'll run over here to the Kilauea Volcano site real quick, show you guys the latest imagery of the webcams up here at the summit area. Everything has come to a halt. Quite a bit of volcanic gases out there and some steam and whatnot being produced. But the eruption is done. Last night when it was kicking up here, it had a nice little incline spray here, kind of like a fire hydrant instead of the typical straight up fountaining. We got that angle of an outflow shooting off into the crater area. Pretty neat. But that has since died off, and we should be going up in terms of inflation. Let's see what we got here for the deformation data up in the summit area. There we go. There's the eruption. Short-lived, but no different than all the other 31 episodes of, or 30 episodes of eruptions. This latest one was number 31. Matches pretty much all the others. We're going back up now. Not a sharp rise, but looks just about the same as the last episode there. So, in a number of days here, what do we got? Like a week and a half or so of time frame to build up. Somewhere around there. Sometimes a little bit longer, sometimes a little bit shorter. But it looks like episode 32 will be in store here in September, sometime early September. Let's see what's going on in the sun here. We got quite a few active areas out there that I'm looking forward to here on the eastern limb. We can see quite a bit of magnetic lines out there. These arches shooting up from the sunspot area. There's a couple sunspots out here though. Some M flare activity recently, and probably an X flare from a far side sunspot that we'll see here in a couple days. Looking at the magnetic imagery here of the sun, still we don't have a full view of the sunspots and maybe how complex they are. Just barely getting a glimpse of them right now, but we'll watch for that here in the coming days. Again, these are going to be some active areas, and that should amplify the flare threat out here. This is still from yesterday, so technically it's almost 2 days behind, but these are the areas because of that UTC time. We're way beyond that. But there's at least 3. We're getting the leading edge of this one right now, which is further over here on the eastern limb. This is the Earth-facing side of the sun that I just showed you there. Far side. Sunspots rotating in this direction to the eastern limb, and then they'll go across the sun there and off to the western limb. But we do have 3 active areas that we'll watch here this coming week for some elevated flare activity. No major roars there in the forecast for now. Flare threat's been bumped up slightly. That's because we're just starting to get a little view of one of the sunspots there. Taking a glance here at the next close approach asteroids, see if anything's coming to the planet that we need to be advised on. I don't see anything close there. These are the numbers that you want to look for. 4 million miles away for that one. Everything at a distance for sure. Nothing of close range. Taking a glance here at the Space Weather Storm Prediction Center. Just a lot of thunderstorm activity out here. A lot of monsoonal moisture coming into Southern California and the desert Southwest, all over this region, except for my neck of the woods here. It's up in the Sierra Nevada mountains, but down here in the Sacramento Valley, we're not going to get anything. It's just 108 today, I think. Really no major severe weather threat. Got a slight risk there across Colorado around the Denver area, Pueblo as well, for some wind and maybe a little bit of hail potential out there as well from those thunderstorms. Far as, well, Aaron's gone, long gone, so it looks like they're focusing in on, ooh, that's going to be a good one here. Kajiki? I don't think it's Kahiki. Kajiki. That's what I'm looking at. Looks like that's a big old cluster of thunderstorms going on there. Let's see where that's at. That is man, that is way... I don't even know exactly where that's at here. Doesn't look like anywhere. Well, this shows the... That's 19W. I do not need the eastern Atlantic. I want to go over here to the western Atlantic. Yeah, there is a little bit of development back over here across the Puerto Rico area, it looks like, but I don't see anything of major interest. We can check out the weather models here real quick as well. See if there's anything kicking up. Lower dynamics. The wind is a good one to check here. I'm just kind of more focused on the Gulf and the eastern portion here of the country. I don't see anything coming in right now. A couple out there in the eastern Pacific here, off the tip of Baja, California region. But nothing of any noteworthy models here that are showing any hurricane activity. That's Aaron, which is long gone now. I do want to check out the weather patterns here real quick, see what we got for temperatures. Long range models here. I'm ready for a cool down. I'm done with this heat. I know the eastern portion of the country has got a nice little taste of fall coming in to finish off August. After that, looks like high pressure builds back in across the east there. That's good. Maybe some troughing going on here. Cooler temperatures across the west coast to start off September. So I'm seriously ready for some cooler weather, folks. I don't know about you guys, but I've had enough of summer. Not a summer fan. I love winter. I like to be able to put on my jacket, my sweater, go outside, enjoy the day without sweating and getting all hot. You know, it's just, it's a little better with the cooler temperatures. All right, trying to think if there's anything else. I believe that is all. Hope everyone has a good Saturday out there. I know we have La Nina coming in for the fall and possibly winter out here as well. I'll have to cover that a little bit later. I'd have to find my link, which I'm not for sure where it all went to. I think this one's an older site. Let me see here. Yeah, this is from May last year. El Nino. All right, I'm out of here, folks. We'll see you guys out here a little bit later on for the Saturday night update. I'm staying inside all day today. It's just too darn hot, so I'll be off here on the maybe pop in on the live stream here and say howdy. Have a good one. Take care. We'll see you guys soon.